As a contractor, have you ever had the experience that you start a project and it's really strong at the front end? The client is very excited. You feel like you have a good rapport with the client. The team's all aligned and excited. And then throughout the project, the relationship with the client seems to deteriorate or decline, or it's just really a struggle or effortful, or things don't go smoothly. And even though at the end of the project it all turned out beautiful, the middle was really an unpleasant experience with the client. If you said yes, you're not alone. I've heard this from a lot of contractors. And in fact, I got an email from Jason this week that asked me this question: how do you change that experience from one of it's got a lot of difficulty and challenge and struggle in the middle of the project with the client? How do you have it turn out differently? And in today's video, I'm going to talk about one of the first elements of what I would recommend that Jason do, and I would recommend that you do in order to start to change that on your projects. I'm Vicki Suter with Suter Business Builders, and for over 25 years I've been helping contractors build more thriving, successful contracting businesses. And a lot of what we talk about has to do with the financial well-being of their business, how to make a more profitable business, but also how to build better communication in your company with your team and with your clients and in the relationships that you have that really are the drivers for the success in your company. And in today's video, I want to talk with you about why we end up having challenges in communication with other people. But I want to share with you first this email that Jason sent me that sparked me even recording this video. The question that he posed to me was this. He said, I really struggle with the client experience during the project. He said, the beginning is great. End results is stellar. Middle really sucks. What advice would you have to help? You know, when Jason first sent me this question and I read it, my first reaction was, wow, there's so many things that I could say to Jason about what I know about communication and about the importance of managing and keeping agreements with people, or about how to manage timelines, or about how to keep communication clean with clients, or practices and processes. And I, even as I started to think about responding and recording this video, I kind of got overwhelmed because I thought, wow, like, where do I start? Now, how do I address all those things without it becoming overwhelming? And then I realized that the first place to start is the beginning. And so where's the beginning? Well, it's really that it was the next question that I asked Jason, which is, how does it suck? And as I was typing the email to him, I thought, you know, this is so classic of what happens in our communication with other people when we have breakdowns in communication, is that we interpret what it means when someone says, I'm unhappy, or things aren't working well, or your team isn't doing what they said they were going to do, or there's some general vague complaint or statement, or an expression of dissatisfaction that somebody has, that our first inclination is to want to go fix it, right? Because that's the customer, or that's the, you know, that's sometimes it's like our spouse or our children, like we're fixers, right? We want to go, okay, what do I know? Kind of like me at the beginning, I was like, all right, I know all the possible things that could help communication happen better. But the first thing that I needed to do, I realized, was to stop and ask Jason more questions. What does suck mean? Like, can you tell me more? And so this is my first piece of advice to you and to Jason in that situation, is ask more questions. The first thing that you want to do when things start going wrong on a project is to find out more information, to actually go to the client, and, you know, when the client expresses a concern, to ask more questions about how, you know, and this is a really great statement, how so specifically? to find out more information instead of assuming that you should be able to intuit or, you should know, because we think that we're the experts, we're supposed to know it all of the time, right? Like that you should know what it is that's not working, right? To go, well, my team, I'm managing my team. I'm supposed to know what they're doing. I'm supposed to know what's not working. But truthfully, like stopping and asking more questions, whether that's of your team when they're complaining about something, the client, subcontractor, in the relationships and in our conversations with people, sometimes the most useful thing that we can do is to stop and ask a more specific set of questions. How so specifically is it a problem? How so specifically can I help you resolve that issue? This is the first of a series of, I'm going to do a couple of videos about this because I'm still waiting for Jason's, the rest of his answer to my question. And as he does, then we're going to talk about some things having to do with how do you improve that relationship with that client, or how do you improve communication, or how do you improve the systems or the processes for managing that client relationship. Because we're going to get to all of those pieces as soon as I find out some more information. But the thing that I'm going to encourage you to do today as we end this video is to go and, if you're currently faced with some challenge in a relationship, whether it's with a client, a subcontractor, a team member, quite frankly, somebody in your, personal life, is to go find out, somebody who's dissatisfied, go find out some more information about where specifically, because how so specifically is a really great question. And that's the one question to ask, right? Go find out how so specifically is it a problem. And then the second piece of this question is, if it was working, what would it look like? All right, I'm going to leave you with that today. And next week, we'll take on the rest of this topic about how do you improve client communication on a project so that the experience throughout the whole project can be amazing. I'll see you next time on The Profit Builder. Hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Please make sure to drop a note below. Let me know what you thought of what I talked about, and if you have any comments or thoughts about it that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it.